Alright, what's going on, everyone? Today we're going to be reacting to Halle Bailey reveals how DDG cheated on her with LALA behind her back in Mexico. Now, this whole situation is pretty crazy, and a lot was exposed, along with a lot of text messages and etc. back and forth with DDG and Halle Bailey, which pretty much exposed this whole entire situation to the public. You know, that's how everybody knows about this whole LALA and DDG propaganda. But it's crazy, man. But I'm not gonna do too much talking, just gonna dive into the video and see what's going on, man.
Two wrongs don't make it right. At the time, I felt that it did. I was like, she's done all this stuff to me. Like, I don't give a anymore.
She cheated on me.
What?
On a break. She did something.
That's cheating. I'm not gonna.
But it was just the dude it was with that f***ed me up, right? I never got over it.
Just finished the third one for the night, boy. I'm a goddamn Daisy. Goddamn thought is what I is.
Now, we told y'all that this wasn't just a breakup. This was a full-blown saga, a tangled a soap opera star and Disney's Golden Girl, a rapper from a YouTube hustle, and an influencer caught in the crossfire, and an ex who's been screaming "I told you so" for years. But let's get this straight. Halle Bailey, yes, the same Halle who made us cry with "Part of the World," is now sobbing in court filings and spiraling through leaked texts that are enough to make you clutch your pearls. Her ex DDG didn't just break her heart. According to Halle, he cracked it, busted wide open, stepped on it, and then handed it off to another woman, a woman named LALA Baptiste. But here's the twist that no one saw coming. Standing beside Halle is none other than DDG's ex, Rubi Rose. Now, if you've been following the mess for a while, then you already know Rubi isn't just some bitter cloud chaser. Sis came with receipts last year, screenshots, DMs, bruises, warnings, and nobody listened. Now her silence is louder than ever, and the documents DDG just dropped in court are starting to echo everything she said from the jump. Even wilder, Rubi has a history with LALA too, which we'll reveal in a little bit. So yeah, this just turned into a red hot mess, and at the center of it all is a baby boy named Halo. Let's break it down and start with the cheating accusation that busted everything wide open. Busted. Y'all, this text came like a slap. "I just found out you slept with LALA in Mexico." Halle allegedly texted DDG on March 21st, 2024, sometime before midnight. "I'm going to myself tonight. I hate you forever. You can have him and let her be his mom." Her message was absolutely wild, with a whole lot of typos and emotional panic and heartbreak. It was also one of the hundreds DDG later submitted as evidence in his emergency custody filing. That last one line, though, it ignited a digital firestorm, because LALA Baptiste wasn't just any girl. She was Halle's biggest insecurity, the content creator DDG was once close to, and the reason Halle had reportedly been spiraling for over a year. Now, DDG claims he never touched LALA, no romantically, not in Mexico, not ever. He tweeted, "Just to clear the air, I've never been romantically involved with LALA. Can y'all stop spreading that rumor?" But the damage was done. The internet erupted, with fans torn between sympathy for Halle's heartbreak and worries for her mental state. The accusation wasn't baseless either, at least not from Halle's perspective. LALA was in Mexico during the exact trip DDG took. She was in the same friend group, she was tagged in photos from the same pool parties, the vibes were suspicious, and in a relationship already plagued by jealousy and broken trust, this was the final straw. LALA tried to calm the storm.
I know people already have this narrative because it's just hard to believe that a guy and a girl can be friends. Like, it's hard to believe that me and him or any other guy and girl can just strictly be platonic friends, okay? But nothing has ever gone on past that, ever. Me and Daryl's relationship has always been strictly, started off as business. Obviously, if you know, you know, like, he put me onto YouTube, started off there, grew into a friendship, has always remained platonic.
To her credit, LALA wasn't defensive. She sounded just tired, hurt even. She admitted that Halle had reached out to her privately during that time, and they had a long conversation to clear things up.
She hit me up, she reached out to me, we had a long conversation about it, things were cleared up, and rightfully so. Like, I didn't even feel any type of way when I found out when she me because I understood. I 100% understood. Like I said, I've been in that position.
But she never confirmed or denied what Halle thought she knew, just that she understands the paranoia. But Halle wasn't just jealous, she was angry as hell and exhausted. In the text, she tells DDG she's crying nonstop, that she's tried but can't compete, that she's drowning and he doesn't care. I hate you. You're the most horrible person I've ever met. You hate me and want me to. I want because of you. I will because of you. Me and your son are alone. You don't care about us anymore. You never did. DDG's reply? This literally makes no sense. And maybe she wasn't making sense, or maybe she was making perfect sense, because this has never really been about LALA. LALA was just a symbol of the woman Halle felt she could never measure up to, and DDG's ex Rubi Rose had warned her, warned all of us really. Back in 2023, Rubi exposed DDG for sliding into her DMs while he was very much booed up with Halle. She posted, "This is why I'm single." Folks called her bitter, messy, and desperate, but now her receipts are gold, and her silence lately is louder than ever. But what's wild is that those old screenshots are now part of a much bigger puzzle, a custody case, a restraining order, and baby boy being caught between two parents and a tornado of accusations. And while Rubi's not named in the legal docs, her ghosts haunt every page, because Rubi knew exactly what Halle was walking into. But let's rewind for a second. Rubi Rose and DDG were a hot mess couple back in 2021. On again, off again, scandal-ridden and publicly toxic.
She cheated on me.
What?
On a break. She did something.
That's cheating. I'm not gonna.
But it was just the dude it was with that f***ed me up, right? I never got over it.
Truth be told, Rubi's the one that put DDG on the map. Image-wise, she had the industry buzz, the beauty, and the clout, and she also had the bruises, allegedly. In 2021, Rubi hinted at a physical in now deleted tweets. He me and then cried. I stayed. No girl deserves to be in love and afraid at the same time. She never named DDG directly, but fans connected the dots, especially after she posted photos of her bruised arm. The timeline aligned perfectly with their messy breakup, and when DDG moved on to Halle, people were shocked. He'd upgraded, right? From club dates to red carpet and Disney premieres. But Rubi never stopped watching, because the moment DDG tried to spin himself as Prince Charming, she blew the whole fairy tale wide open. In early 2023, Rubi posted a screenshot of DDG DMing her, "You still in LA?" and admitting to hitting on her when she called him out. This was while he was still publicly with Halle. The internet roasted her for trying to be a clout chaser, but the girl had facts, and when she posted these disgusting threats from DDG after her tweet, the internet has started siding with her too. "I get you mad, but I'm telling you, Rubi, I'm not LALA. I'ma F your whole career up. Don't do it to yourself." And Rubi had been through the same cycle of gaslighting, cheating, and emotional warfare, and now a year later, Halle was echoing her exact type of story. But Rubi never gloated. That's the eerie part. She stayed quiet this time, and that silence, y'all, was louder than any told you so, because when Halle filed for a restraining order and dropped photos of bruises, a chipped tooth, and screenshots of violent arguments, it was like deja vu. Rubi had tried to warn Halle when she was tweeting all those DMs. Sadly, Halle took it as just a homewrecker type of rant. Now the monster was back, and this time there's a baby involved. And that's why if Rubi were to speak now, she wouldn't be back in DDG, she'd be siding with Halle. Not out of spite, but out of survival. And y'all, here's the plot twist that takes this drama from messy to Shakespearean messy. Rubi and LALA got history too. Back in 2021, Rubi was dating Lil TJ, another rapper swimming in drama. But when things went south, they went south fast. LALA Baptiste, who was also close to Rubi at the same time, started dating TJ immediately after the split. Word on the streets is that she was already messing with him before the breakup. And Rubi didn't mince words. She called LALA a snake in a shady tweet and unfollowed her everywhere. LALA herself confessed recently that she stole Lil TJ from Rubi to get back at her.
Two wrongs don't make it right. At the time, I felt that it did. I was like, she's done all this stuff to me. Like, I don't give a f anymore.
Still, she tried to ensure everyone that she's not into stealing all of Rubi's exes.
Like, it was her ex-boyfriend. I was dating the guy. We didn't know each other. But there's a narrative that like, oh, every guy she was with, I just and that I just want to clear that narrative up. That is not true. And just like behind the scenes, there was so many things that we did to each other. Like, it just got to a point we were always on and off. Like, we were damn near in a toxic relationship.
But in other words, she didn't sleep with DDG, she says. Still, imagine how wild it must feel for Rubi seeing LALA again, this time tangled in the downfall of DDG and Halle. Y'all, you can't make this stuff up. Even LALA seemed to catch the heat. In her statement denying anything romantic with DDG, she made it a point to say she's done with messy drama and that she's not that girl anymore. But the internet remembers, because it never forgets, and Rubi never deleted her receipts. What makes this drama so painful to watch, though, is that it's layered in betrayal. Rubi tried to look out for Halle. Halle didn't listen. She called Rubi the devil. And now Rubi's name keeps getting dragged back into the courtroom like a ghost that won't leave. A user tweeted, DDG also Rubi Rose. We truly tried to warn Halle. Her being isn't her fault, but you need to accept people for who they are. If you saw another woman say her, why would you think you're different? You too. But in a way, Rubi is the blueprint for this whole mess, like a prophecy. And with DDG painting Halle as mentally unstable, paranoid, and violent, it's hard not to think back to Rubi's tweets, the ones that said, he cried and told me he loved me. Because now Halle's telling the court the same story, and the stakes have never been higher, with DDG now trying to get full custody of baby Halo. On May 29, 2024, DDG walked into a Los Angeles courthouse and filed for an emergency custody of his and Halle's baby boy Halo. The claim, Halle was unstable, unsafe, and spiraling, and their son needed protection. Didn't come empty-handed either. The filing includes over 160 pages of text, screenshots, photos, and alleged voice notes. Y'all, that's why these wild texts are public. DDG alleges that Halle threatened to herself and their son, sent hundreds of unhinged messages, damaged his property, and physically him on multiple occasions. He paints a picture of a woman unraveling emotionally, volatile, and obsessed with jealousy. And you openly flirt and help every other woman in the world but me. Go back to the you're used to. That's what you want. You never wanted anyone like me. And it gets worse. Apparently, Halle showed up at his place unannounced and tracked his car using a Hello Kitty pet tracker. She also left several threatening voicemails, slashed his clothes, and damaged his car during one alleged outburst.
He is fighting back by saying, and she has violence issues or she has health issues.
DDG claimed he was genuinely scared of Halle for him and his son's safety. The restraining order request says Halle poses an imminent emotional and psychological risk to the minor child based on repeated documented threats of self. The father also declared his belief that Bailey could abduct Halo. That belief is alleged based on a history of child taking away or hiding Halo, threatening to take away or hide Halo, and not cooperating in parenting. DDG says Halo as her baby boy to guilt and manipulate him, so he requested immediate full custody and asked that Halle only be allowed supervised visitation until she got psychiatric treatment. But here's the thing, the court didn't grant full custody, not yet at least. They're calling a hearing, and y'all, DDG really thought he had the last word, but Halle Bailey pulled up to the court like it was a red table talk meets Law and Order. In her June 3rd response, Miss Little Mermaid filed for a restraining order and temporary full custody of baby Halo. And let's just say the fairy tale isn't over, because behind those Disney curls and soft vocals is a woman done being played. According to Halle, this man been spiraling for years, and she finally got tired of sweeping it under the rug. So she came in with photos of bruises and a chipped tooth, smashed phones, and holes in the wall. And then came the incident that made everybody's stomach turn. Halle Bailey says, back in early 2024, she caught DDG texting other women. Again, she confronted him, and that's when all hell broke loose. She says, at one point, Daryl was pulling my hair. He then slammed my face on the steering wheel, causing my tooth to get chipped. I then stopped fighting back as I was in a lot of pain. I wanted to get out of that car with Halo, but was now stuck. But she stayed. I wanted to believe he loved me. I wanted my son to have a family. Another time, she says DDG cornered her when she was trying to leave their home while she was holding baby Halo. Halo was crying. I repeatedly pleaded with him to stop calling me a B. I felt very nervous that he was taking Halo with him and was very agitated. I did not feel safe leaving my baby with him in this state. I also wanted to know when he would bring Halo back, and he would not tell me. That was the breaking point, and that's when she started documenting everything. Her words, yeah, I wasn't mentally unstable because I was scared, period. But let's talk about that AirTag situation DDG tried to spin. Halle said, yeah, she tracked his car, but it wasn't on some fatal attraction type stuff. She says he left with their baby and vanished for hours. I didn't know where my son was, she said. Any mother would have done the same. And as for those texts where she said, you can have full custody, She owned up to them but explained she was manipulated, exhausted, and fighting postpartum depression with no support. I was overwhelmed, but I never meant it. I love my son more than anything. But here's where it gets petty and painful. DDG tried to act like he was the victim of property damage, but Halle ain't deny it. What she did say is that she snapped after he called her a crazy bee, mocked her postpartum body, and said she wasn't sexy anymore. Y'all, there's always these weird looking little boys that's talking about women's bodies, but it gets nastier. Halle included screenshots of DDG texting other women while she was feeding. She found lingerie in his bathroom that did not belong to her, left by one of the girls from his IG comments, no doubt, because DDG stays double tapping with the same fingers he claims are for family. The cheating may not have been confirmed, but the disrespect was screaming through the Wi-Fi. And now folks are waiting for the cavalry to show up, because best believe this thing ain't staying between just Halle and DDG. People are already asking, where's Chloe? Where's Mama Bailey? Where's the village?
I moved on from someone that I loved.
Oh, and how did you do that?
I cried every day
Oh,
till I stopped feeling the pain.
Oh, don't say that, Chloe.
And fans are hoping Chloe Bailey, big sis, chart-topping baddie, and certified Beyonce baby steps up and says something. Because if anybody knows what Halle's been through behind closed doors, it's her. She's already famous for showing 24/7 support for her little sis. And if this drama gets any deeper, don't be surprised if Mama Bailey herself drops in subtle posts, a little heart emoji or a "we stand with you" that sets the internet on fire. This isn't just celebrity mess no more. It's a family matter, and the whole world's watching to see who's really riding for Halle when the lights go out and the lawyers log off. So what did the judge do? Well, nothing explosive yet. The court denied both emergency requests for full custody and told them to start co-parenting therapy. And Halo stays with Halle for now, but officially it's still joint custody. And I don't think DDG is backing down either. He already told the court that he's prepping more evidence and allegedly got footage of Halle screaming at Halo. Claims she threatened to drive in traffic. And you know how it goes when you can't win a case, you flood the docket. Now both sides swear they just want what's best for Halo, but from the outside this isn't a parenting plan. This is an all-out custody cage match with Disney dreams and YouTube clout flying like wigs at a Bad Girls reunion special. And poor baby Halo was now caught in the middle of this whole storyline. But let's be real a second for a millisecond, y'all. This relationship wasn't love, it was an emotional hostage taking wrapped in designer diapers and fake loyalty posts. And DDG didn't want a girlfriend, he wanted a fan in a size 2 body with no options, no opinions, and zero boundaries. And Halle, she wanted love. But what she got was Gaslighting Deluxe, a rapper edition. So let's talk about that control. He mocked her postpartum body, pressured her to lose weight, and made shady jokes and vlogs, all while flexing on Instagram with captions like "family first." Now he's posting "checkmate" and posts like he's winning a game against Halle. Meanwhile, she's hiding bruises, dry crying in the bathroom mirror, wondering if this is what motherhood was supposed to be like. And the double standards, y'all. Let a man cheat and it's he made a mistake. Let a woman cry on IG and suddenly she's crazy, unfit, and unstable. Well, DDG definitely dropped a track called Famous where he whined about not wanting Halle to kiss a man on camera for work. Not cheating, just a scripted kiss. But he's out here DMing hoes, liking Instagram thirst traps, texting random girls while Halle's feeding, and nobody batted a lash until she started talking. Nah, she wasn't spiraling, she was drowning in judgment, postpartum anxiety, and betrayal with a ring light on it. And we gotta talk about that power dynamic, because while DDG was throwing subliminals and applying for custody like it was a brand deal, Halle was stuck doing cleanup. Even her silence became ammo. When she didn't respond fast enough, she was dodging the truth. When did she speak up? And when she did speak up, she was playing victim. And y'all better stop dragging her for staying as long as she did. We've all stayed somewhere too long and praying the version of them before would come back. But sometimes the version never existed to begin with. It was a facade or mirage. So now we ask y'all, was this love or was this control with a pretty filter? Did Rubi Rose warn the girl who replaced her? And did DDG really want his family back or just to win the internet? And most importantly, who's really protecting Halo? I gotta know what y'all feel about it in the comments. So like, share, subscribe, and drop your thoughts and comments below. And stay tuned for the next video, because we're not just spilling tea, we're drowning the lies.
crazy in my opinion though. But overall, man, let me know who y'all are siding with in this whole entire court case and, you know, life drama of DDG and Haley. But yeah, man, overall though, I'm not gonna lie, I am siding with DDG. I know I might get a lot of hate for this, but DDG seems like a pretty cool guy, and I'm in there with Kai Cenat and all the streamers as well. And you know, the thing about DDG, he can't really hide anything in his life because he's live. He live streams almost everything, you know what I mean? He's a live streamer just like Kai, and he's out and about everywhere, so there's not much you can hide, you know what I mean? But as for Haley, not bashing her for not being a streamer or anything, but like, you know, it's easy for her to hide certain things. And you know, a lot of people don't know what she's actually like outside of the cameras. Apart from DDG, he has like a lot of support, man. Overall, a lot of people supporting him about this whole entire situation, right? But overall, man, let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all siding with DDG or Halle Bailey? This whole situation is pretty crazy overall, simply because Halle Bailey is with Rock Nation and Jay-Z and Beyonce and all that stuff. But yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. Overall, I'm not saying DDG is completely innocent. I'm not saying DDG is innocent. I'm just saying, you know, guilty until proven innocent, I guess. I don't know. But we'll just see what happens with this whole situation. And I know, you know, DDG and Aiden Ross are cool. And Aiden Ross is Jewish. So, you know, apparently Aiden Ross put DDG onto some powerful, you know, Jewish lawyers to kind of help him out with this whole situation. And yeah, man, but let's just see what happens. But let me know what y'all think, man, because this whole situation is pretty crazy. There's a lot being exposed, and there's gonna be a lot more getting exposed in the future. Yeah, man, this is like a big, huge kind of drama all over their child Halo as well. So it's crazy, man. But let me know what y'all think, and until the next video.